it's a very good idea to develop a title block, one for your particular landscape design company. What I've done here is put a rectangle around what will become the title block. There are a number of things to look at in the title block. If you want to put in your title block the intended scale, and I'm not sure necessarily that's a good idea, I'd rather have that in put in the pages place itself, but you'll certainly need the date, client name, client address, phone numbers and drawing number, and possibly even the drawing file. You'll need your logo to put in here, and details of your company will go perhaps in here. You might have other elements in here. Some people put a small box and have the name of the sheet that they're printing on in there. But I want to draw your attention to the names that are in here, the properties of the names that are in here. You notice down here that the contents of the first line there are bottom left. If we click in the properties box and change that to middle center and do the same for all of the other text lines there, change them from bottom left to middle center, what you should be able to see now is we should be able to pick we should be able to move that landscape design and just position it how we like, and similarly move this into position, move this one like so, and we'll even move the last of those and put, whoops, I've copied it, so let's undo there. And I'll try selecting and moving again. It's actually not so important in this particular instance, but it would be important if, as you'll see in a later video, we used attributes to define things like client name and address and so on. But what that means is that if, for the sake of argument, the company name changed and became a lot longer, or indeed shorter, so my new company name in here, because it is centered and we change it, can you see that everything still lines up? So I've not chosen a particularly good example here, and a much better example would be the client name and address, which I'd set up in an area like this, because then the client name and the client address can change each time. So I've got a long way to go before I make this title block work nicely for me, but I'm working on an existing title block and just happen to see, I've got some misspelling in there, but I just happen to see that all the text in here was set up at bottom left. Bottom left is fine, but where you're intending to use the title block over and over again in lots of different jobs, there will be information that will change, and you don't want to have to line things up again each time. I'll try and make another video to illustrate that. Well, what I've done now is to set up the client name and address, line 1, line 2, as middle center, just as we were working on. And now to get the company name, company details and so on, what I've done is just select all of those and turn those back into as they were originally, the alignment as they were originally. What I'd now like to do is to line those up. So modify and align text, and we'll select the text to align, and we'll say hit the enter keys or the right mouse button, and we'll make them left align, and we'll say we're going to align them here. So now all we need to do is move them down a little. Whoops, I've missed one of those. Come in here and grab them and move them down a little. So now we haven't got our logo in yet, but we've got the details of our company over here and the details of the client here. Now these will change all the time, whereas the details of our landscape design company will not. So the title block is taking shape a little. If we use it in lots of drawings, what we'll have to do, and to get the new client name in there, we're going to have to explode the block and then edit each of these: client name, address, line 1, line 2, line 3. What I'll show in a separate and different movie is that these would be much better as attributes in the title block, and then without exploding, you'll be able to dive in and change those. So we're working towards developing a title block that we're going to put into the layout space or the paper space area, and we're going to store it in our blocks folder and use it over and over again on many projects. And we'll even use it in developing a template